Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Infinite Franchisee Show. This week, we're going to be talking about how to use your swag journal. You might be thinking, what is a swag journal? Well, if this is your first introduction to the use of the word swag, then get excited because it is a term that we use here regularly at Ask April Porter to describe the ultimate vision that we want for our lives. And we believe that every person has a unique vision for where you want your life to go, but that it has in common the same components that other people's do as well, which are sanity, wealth, and gratitude. Swag, sanity, wealth, and gratitude. And a swag journal is a place that you can begin to manifest that life to come to fruition faster. So a swag journal can be used just like any other journal, but today we're going to talk about it in the context of your business ownership journey, moving from that employee mindset up to an owner mindset, and then even higher into that entrepreneur mindset. And with a focus of reaching your swag, that vision of that life that you want to obtain. This came up this past week inside the Infinite Franchisee program because we had a client who shared a big win. And on the surface, the win could have been taken as a negative. In fact, in past days, back when this client was thinking more like an employee, then it wouldn't have necessarily been a win because there would have been a lot of negative emotions attached to it. That is something that people in an employee mindset frequently experience, which is high highs and low lows, a very thrilling roller coaster ride of emotions that isn't as much fun as the amusement park rides that if you watch my stories, you know I enjoy so much. So when we're in that employee mindset, we tend to have reactions, and those emotional reactions are extreme, and it's what causes that saying of, oh, business ownership is an emotional roller coaster. We want to cut down on that. And as you elevate your mindset to more of being an owner, more of being an entrepreneur, all of that levels out. Why? It's not that you lose emotion. It's that you begin learning how to be proactive in your business instead of reactive. And when you're proactive, and you have less reaction, there's less of the major swings from one emotion to the other, which allows you to enjoy your life at a higher level. You're not so affected by what other people are doing. You're more in control, and you can anticipate the highs and the lows, and they're just not as extreme. So that's a big part of the journey of going from employee mindset to an owner and entrepreneur mindset. The swag journal is a tool to help you along that journey even faster. So this week, we had a client who came back from vacation, and she shared that right before she went on vacation, she had to fire someone. And she fired that person because they have a toxic attitude. They were being very controlling. They were taking it upon themselves to boss others around. They would make others feel inferior, and they would hurt others' self-esteem in the workplace. And so she fired that person. Now, this is right before she went on vacation. If she had been in an employee mindset, this would have been a huge blow. Why? Because she'd be losing somebody. She would have two choices: either lose someone right before she goes on vacation and have all the anxiety about the fact that they would be down on another person. Would the stores be able to survive on such a short staff? What happens if somebody else gets sick or needs to call out while she's gone? All of that anxiety would have followed her to vacation and would have interrupted her time to enjoy her swag, her sanity and wealth and gratitude with her family detached from her business. That would have been one option. The other option would have been her talking herself out of firing the person in order to avoid all of those, all of that anxiety and all of the mistakes or all of the limitations that could have while she was away for vacation. And so instead, she could have chosen to say, all right, I'll just keep her through vacation and then I'll deal with it when I get back. And had she done that, well, guess what? Now someone who's toxic, who's making people feel inferior, who is being controlling and taking it upon themselves to do things in the business that they're not really authorized to do and maybe isn't consistent with the culture, well, they would have had full reign to do that without any oversight from the boss, which would have empowered them in their bad behavior. And it could have made things a lot worse. In fact, she may have lost other employees while on vacation had she chosen that route. But because she is evolving out of that employee mindset, and because she is now in an owner mindset, she made the right decision and said, you know what, even though we're leaving for vacation tomorrow, I'm letting this person go and we will get it figured out. Now, here's the really special part. The team was down a person. They had no notice. They were going to be down the owner, and now they were down another person while the owner's gone. A lot of teams and a lot of owners would have been happy if the stores would have just opened on time, closed on time, remained clean with a high level of customer service, and maintained the status quo while they were out for a week on vacation. That would have been a win, but that's not what happened. What happened was her stores grew. Her sales team actually sold more than they had the week before. Why do you think that is? Well, there's a lot of reasons. Her team was probably on an emotional high because they saw the boss take the action that was necessary to remove something that was making them uncomfortable. So they felt supported. They felt empowered. In addition, they didn't have to put up with that toxicity anymore. So now they're light as a feather, able to be themselves and able to serve customers at a higher level. And they feel a kinship towards the owner. They feel reciprocity. That's a psychological trigger that kicks in a situation like this. So now they want to do a great job for the owner. The owner has made them feel great and has shown support for them and empowerment for them. They want to return that goodwill. And so they're working harder. They're looking for ways. How can we really impress the owner when she gets back from vacation? And these are all subconscious things that happen naturally. So that was the scenario, is that she had fired someone, went on vacation, and bam, the stores did even better while she was gone, even with a person down. So when we're talking about this, a couple of things came up. One is that it did give her anxiety to fire that person. She still had some of those thoughts of, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I leaving him even more short-staffed? But she said it was only 24 hours that I even thought about that. And then I was able to let it go and completely focus and enjoy my vacation with my family. Now, this was a milestone because when she was back in an employee mindset, and when I talked to many business owners in an employee mindset, those emotional reactions, they linger. And they linger for a long time. And it causes anxiety. It causes second guessing as to your next move. It causes a lack of confidence in feeling, did I even make the right decision? Does my team think I'm an incompetent leader? All of those imposter syndrome things tend to bubble up to the surface. And it could be even a full week or longer for an employee-minded owner to recover. So being able to say, you know what, I was thinking about it, replaying the conversation in my mind, but only for like less than 24 hours. And then I was like, you know what, I'm putting it behind me and I'm detaching from that emotion. I'm not going to let that ruin my time with my family. That was a huge win. But the biggest win, of course, was the ripple effect of removing that toxic employee and the growth and empowerment of all the other team members. So where does the swag journal come into play, right? Well, this is the assignment that she received after sharing all of this. Write it down. Write it down in your swag journal. Why do we need to write it down in the swag journal? Well, one, writing things down actually helps them get embedded in your subconscious faster and helps you make those shifts in your mindset and in your actions even faster. So we don't want this to be a one-time fluke. We want this to be her new pattern, both emotionally and strategic thinking. We want her to solidify these patterns. So we want to write it down. But even more importantly is we want to have it as a reference point for when her gut is telling her something is off in the future. Because she didn't have a feeling that something was off on the day she fired this person. Her intuition was telling her for a while, oh, is she really the right fit? Should I give her another chance? Should I give her more training? How do we get this to work? Right? And so she spent a good amount of time doing that. And while she was doing that, her team was reacting negatively to this person, although they weren't sharing how negatively they really felt about it. And your team never will until the toxic person is gone. And then they will tell you all kinds of stories you didn't know. So her intuition was speaking to her, but she wasn't listening to it. And because logic steps in and says, well, we can't afford to fire someone right now. We need to hire somebody else first. We don't have anyone to cover those hours. I don't want to work those hours, and on and on and on. By writing it down, what we're doing is we're giving ourselves a precedent to go back and look at. So just like a court case that sets precedent, we can go back when we have those intuitive feelings down the road. We can say, you know what? I want to go back and read how I felt about this when I let, Jane go that last time. And you go back and you read, and you can journal it all out. This happened, this happened, this happened. When these little things happened, I was kind of feeling like maybe she wasn't the right fit, but I thought if I did more training, I thought if I, accommodated her schedule more, I thought if I bought her lunch or gave her something that it would fix it. Write all that down. Now, 3 months from now, if you happen to have another employee who's making you say like, I don't know if they're a good fit, you go back and you read it. And you're like, wow, this is the same thing I feel right now about this new employee. These are all red flags. I recognize it. I can take action quickly, and I can be confident that it is the right action, because look what happened when I did it last time. I took the action and my team grew the business. It freed them up to do more in the business by eliminating that. So now I could take that action again and feel that confident it's the right move, it's in alignment with my intuition, and it's going to empower my team. So that's another reason that you want to write it down in your swag journal. So we're getting it embedded in our consciousness. We're creating a record that you can refer back to when you're feeling uncertain about what decision to make in the future in a similar situation. And then the third reason is that your swag journal is all about how do you get closer to swag faster. That sanity piece is getting off the emotional roller coaster. When we can write it down in the swag journal, we can also revisit it and say, how would I be proactive about this situation instead of reactive? This go around, I was reactive. But now that I've experienced this, how do I put something in place to avoid this in the future? Maybe it is a 4-week performance review survey that I give to all of the team, and they can respond anonymously. Then, if there are some things going on that I'm not aware of, they have a platform in which they can freely tell me their perceptions, and I can be more aware and more on top of it and take action faster. And if I have the feedback of all of my employees, then I know that the action is consistent with what is best for my business overall. So the swag journal can be used just like any journal, right? You're just getting things out of your head, out of your heart, out of your gut, and onto paper. And when you can see it on paper, then you can start to use it for your benefit. Either one, just getting it out of your body so you can let it go and you can move on to bigger, brighter things. Or two, so you can use it as a reference material to go back and course correct. But the important thing about, or the important difference of having a swag journal is that it's not just for those scenarios. It's also to get you dreaming and thinking about your swag on a daily basis, to really embrace the desires that you have that will lead you to a life of sanity, wealth, and gratitude, and then being specific about it in your daily activities. So by writing down how you're going to move towards sanity that day, or reminding yourself, what is my ultimate vision of sanity? Then that puts into perspective the activities you're doing that day and their relation to taking you to that ultimate vision. This is how you stay on track to accelerate yourself to live in your swag. Too many times we have a vision of our future, but we wake up in the morning and we instantly dive into our past or our present. We get so focused on the little things that we have to do that it's out of sight, out of mind for the ultimate vision. And when we do that again and again on repeat, all we end up doing is activities that keep us exactly where we're at this moment in time. By making our swag vision our focus, and by reminding ourselves daily, we're able to look out 10,000 yards, right? We can see the forest instead of the trees, and we can make better decisions about the way that you're spending your time and how is that taking you to that vision versus how is it keeping you where you're at. So these are all of the reasons that you need a swag journal. Now, like I said, go get yourself any kind of journal and start keeping track of things. If you want a journal that guides you through how to think through scenarios, how to make the right notes and pull out of yourself the thoughts and the feelings and your gut instincts so that you can use them in this way in the future, then you're going to want to click the link and let us know that you want to be on the wait list for our swag journal, because it is in production and it will be coming this fall. And if you're on the list, you'll be the first to receive an email about it when it is available. So until then, I hope that all of you have an amazing week and that you are living in your current swag with your eye on your ultimate swag, that you're able to put into place the strategies, the opportunities, and the solutions that will take you to infinite success. Have an awesome day. My name's April Porter. Welcome. We are changing the franchising industry. Show up every day authentically as yourself, unapologetically to infinite success.